This presentation is to inform my community on the environmental disparities that are happening and how, as a community, these impacts could be lessened. The MENA vehicles owned by Woodbury residents are below. 2.2% of the population of Woodbury have zero vehicles. 21.8% have 3 or more vehicles. 25.7% have 1 vehicle, and 50.3% households in Woodbury have 2 vehicles. Transportation time for residents to drive to work one way is 25 minutes on average. Greenhouse gas emissions from transportation account for about 27% of the total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. This makes it the largest contributor of the U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. Residents in our community contribute towards biodiversity through pollution, the vast expanding human population, and overconsumption of the ecosystem. This includes overhunting and overfishing. Boats run on the usage of gasoline, which spills into the lakes and rivers. The chemicals and toxins released into the waters are destroying living things. Plastic pollution is killing millions of animals every year. Birds, fish, turtles, and other organisms are getting entangled in plastic or starving. Pollution from cars, buses, planes, and industrial factories not only pollute the air, but gets into the soil, leaves, and in the water, weakening our ecosystems. Impacts of non-renewable energy. By increasing the usage and supply of renewable energy, it would contribute towards the reduction of global warming emissions. Non-renewable energy is associated with air pollution, causing significant health issues within the human population. Disparities such as lung and breathing problems, neurological issues, heart attacks, cancer, premature death are all negative impacts due to air and water pollution. Acid rain is another impact of non-renewable energy. Due to the emissions from factories and cars, fossil fuels lead to the acidification of our natural water resources. Ultimately, non-renewable energy is detrimental to our atmosphere in more ways than we can imagine. What is non-renewable energy, you might be wondering? Non-renewable energy accounts for 90% of the energy used in the United States. It is also responsible for about 90% of the electricity generated. All of these supplies are also known as fossil fuels. They are limited as they can only be mined and drilled from the earth. Take crude oil as an example. It is drilled from rock formations found underneath the Earth's surface. Spilt oil is most commonly caused by ships, trains, and trucks used to transport oil to the refineries. When the oil gets into the waterways, it pollutes the water, making it unsafe for habitation. Nuclear energy is a fossil fuel that contributes to the release of greenhouse gas emissions. According to the World Health Organization, it is estimated that over 7 million people die from air pollution each year worldwide. 90% of those deaths are caused by non-renewable energy sources. Gas is a danger to climate change. It is primarily made up of methane. Methane is a greenhouse gas that is more toxic than carbon dioxide. It fills our water with chemicals that are a hazard to farmers' land, and it poisons our access to food and clean water. When coal is burned, it releases pollutants and toxins into the atmosphere, which we breathe in. Mercury, lead, sulfur dioxide are just some of the toxins that we are exposed to every day due to air pollution. Our waterways and drinking water supplies are all negatively impacted from coal mines and the use of power plants. What actions can we take to build a more sustainable community? Using renewable energy sources help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the air. It is better for the environment and the health of all living things. 5 common renewable energy sources are biomass, hydropower, geothermal energy, wind, and solar energy. Biomass from plants was once the main energy source worldwide. It was used to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Geothermal energy is another renewable energy source. It is heat that comes from the Earth's core. Geothermal energy is used to heat baths, buildings, and generates electricity. Wind is a resourceful energy source for water pumping windmills. They were once commonly used throughout the United States. Several farms and ranches still use water pumping windmills to supply water for their livestock. Wind energy is primarily used these days for generating electricity. Solar thermal energy is another source used for heat. It heats water in people's homes, work environments, and community pools. Did you know that solar energy also warms your home and greenhouses? There are 2 main functions of solar energy. The first one being that solar energy systems do not emit pollutants, carbon dioxide, or toxins into the air we breathe. Solar energy systems have very minimal effects on the environment. They are much safer to use than non-renewable energy sources. What is sustainability? Sustainability is sharing the natural resources the world provides us all with. It doesn't compromise the future, and it ensures there are enough resources for everyone in the world for many more generations to come. A carbon footprint reveals the carbon emissions from multiple sources and how your impact affects the atmosphere. The larger your footprint, the heavier the impact is on the environment. Your carbon footprint identifies the great role you play in the use of greenhouse gas emissions that are released into the atmosphere. As carbon dioxide continues to rise, resulting in global warming, seeing how you can reduce your carbon footprint and begin to make changes can help the future of the Earth.